we stand as one, walk with thousands.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Dad Bods and Beards. And today is going to be, I know I say this all the time, I say it's going to be a fun one. This one is going to be legitimately like...
Because you're going to be naked howling in the moon. It's going to be a replica of 8 years ago.
Okay, we have a hypnotherapist here with us today, and we're gonna dive deep into the issues of why you are always concerned with me being naked one way or another.
You know why.
I don't. But before we introduce our guest, before we get to all of that, if you guys have seen any of the social media stuff, by the time this episode comes out, you have seen many bits of content. One of our newest primary sponsors is going to go hand in hand with Mountain Ops and some of these other brands we work with is the energy drink that we were introduced by Justin Danger Nunley, Waze. Cool part is I didn't realize this at first, but Waze actually is an acronym because it is veteran owned and it supports veterans and first responders.
What does the acronym mean?
We appreciate your service.
Oh,
look at that. So I love them because I was a big Celsius guy. And with these things only being 5 to 10 calories, still have 200 milligrams of caffeine.
And if you're a fan of Rocky Mountain Ricky from Mountain Ops, the sour lime.
Does it taste, is that what it tastes like?
Not even close, but it has the same vibe. It has the same vibe of the sourness.
Okay, sure. Ready? Product placement. Oh.
And now you wet yourself.
It popped. Anyways, check out Waze. I don't know if we have. I don't know
We're
if we.
rated E.
I don't know if we have a code. We'll figure it out. We'll link it if we have a code.
No, he said we have a code. Dadbod something.
Okay, it'll be Dadbod something. Anyways.
And you get
that one's
20% off, was it?
I don't know. You can't start making up numbers.
I think it's 50% off.
I think it's free. Code DadBods gets you a free pallet. Like us. Anyways, please welcome to the show our friend. We got Felicia Marie. Thank you. Felicia is a hypnotherapist, and you're going to hypnotize us today.
I am. You're already hypnotized.
I don't get
Are
hypnotized.
we really?
Because we're doing this. Like, you didn't want to do this. Why are we here?
See, okay, listen.
I don't get hypnotized. I tried a couple of times. And you know, like you know, when they're starting, you can feel yourself kind of go under.
Uh-huh.
I always shake myself out of it.
Is this going to inhibit me?
Yes.
If I have too much? Okay. I've already had 2.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to put it down. Brought to you by Waze. Anyways.
And he puts down the energy drink.
Before we get into all of that, and we're going to ask a couple, before we do that, I want to ask like some fun debunking questions and stuff like that. Give us the rundown of who Felicia is and why you got into this and all that. Give us the story.
I'll give you the goods. I'm Felicia Marie. First and foremost, I am a mother. Like, that is my title. It's everything to me. I have 4 kids. I love my kids. Love being a mom. It's the greatest teacher on the planet. So started there, had kids really early. I had a long life of trauma. Don't know what I can say as far as that goes, but okay, I'll say it all.
This is all you, yeah.
I went through a lot of sexual abuse starting at the age of 3 all the way up until my 20s with my first marriage. I had to fight for my life to get out of that marriage, who I had 4 kids with, and would call myself a survivor of domestic violence and abuse.
I wouldn't even put air quotes around that.
Yeah. But I say that because I don't agree with the term survivor.
Sure.
I believe in more of like, I'm a thriver. I made the conscious choice to leave and change my life and get my life back. So fought for my life to get out of my marriage, but I've had some very compounding traumatic experiences in my life, such as like head-on car collision by a drunk driver, really hard pregnancies. I had a lot of abuse in my childhood. I got into addiction and overcame addiction in my 20s, but I overdosed 4 times as a teenager. I was in and out of state's custody as a teenager. So I just had a really, really challenging, hard life, became a parent and like raised a child as a child. So that was really difficult. And then about a decade ago, I got into a really bad pedestrian accident out in Arizona. I only share this because I know people look up my name and they can see information on it. I hear it all the time, like, oh, I saw this accident. So that was a really bad accident with a pedestrian who did not make it in Arizona 10 years ago. So that was a big shift of my life. I had 4 young kids as a mom and was a single mom at the time, lived in Arizona by myself. And so that began the journey of wanting to heal. But that's really when I went into mental health challenges of my own. Like, I didn't want to live after that. And I've spent 10 years working on myself to want to be here. And I can say that honestly today, but a year ago, I would have never said that out loud. Yeah. So took me 10 years a lot of therapy, a lot of psychedelic journeys, a lot of facilitation, and deep like subconscious programming and inner work to know that I deserve to live, and I deserve to be with my kids, and I deserve to have a healthy relationship, and I deserve to be wealthy, and all of the things. Because when you go through trauma, you build up walls, right? And coping mechanisms. And so I wanted to break the patterns and break the cycle. So I hired a mentor 7 years ago. Amazing. Like, don't know if I can drop names, but
100%. Go for
his
it.
name's Jim Fortin. Love him. Like, changed my life. I went from being on food stamps to like $1,000 a month to making over 6 figures in my business working with him.
Oh yeah.
He was a master NLP practitioner, hypnotherapist, coach. And he taught me 7 years ago that I can master my mind and I can create the life that I want by reprogramming my subconscious. And so I started doing that work. And then I quickly discovered that I have a gift with this, and I help people with this specific field, the mind.
It's kind of annoying.
Yeah.
Because when the first time I met you, he goes
right into it.
Talking to her, and all of a sudden I was like, "Okay, we need to stop." No, remember you said focus. Let me finish. And I'm like, I hate
well,
this.
because we were already in it. We were already in something, and people get really uncomfortable. And I know what that feels like, because I had to get really uncomfortable. Here's the thing: I had to accept the truths about my life and myself and my choices that I didn't want to accept. Like the bad decisions that I made, right? Being the product of my environment, being like my mom, being like my dad. I had to accept in order to actually heal and change who I was. And a lot of people do not want to go into that.
Yeah. So first off, thank you for sharing all of that. I know that's, I know when you share kind of like origin stories or parts of stories, sometimes it gets a little easier to like regurgitate information. Not that it like lessens it by any means. Right.
Right. Yeah.
So like first off, I mean, whenever you hear about, things like that people have gone through, that always like as a father, I mean, I've got a 9-year-old daughter and a 7-year-old son, that always just like eats me up to hear that anybody has ever been through that, or that somebody could even be capable of doing that. And so thank you for sharing that. But at the same time, the note that I always kind of like make mentally is when we talk to different people on the show or we meet different people, is that whenever you meet people who have gone through it almost seems like can't come back from type stuff, always end up being the people who want and feel like they need to help the most. Because it's like, I've been there. I don't want you to be there. I want to pull you out of there. And it's like this like life fulfilling mission that you meet when you meet people who've been through that and they've gone through everything you have.
Right.
So I love that. And that you've turned, so much trauma into a way that you can
that might
come back from.
You're not comfortable, and you can say you're not.
No, go ahead. Yeah.
I didn't know about the pedestrian.
I don't share it very often.
My wife's cousin did something like that. Obviously on accident. Nothing was on purpose. And she's still years and years later still suffering from that. Yeah,
it's taken me honestly a decade to even it's not like not accepting it, because that's I think the easier part with it. You have to live with it. It's not something that you can change. Like, I've done all aspects of healing to go back and rewire that and reprogram that. But I think like as a human, especially if you're not like malice or you have like ill intention or malicious towards people and you do something like that, it's really difficult to live with it. You almost have like that guilt of being alive, right? I know people have like talked about that and heard about that. I've worked through that guilt of like, it's okay for me to live, right? Because I punished myself. I 100% punished
the family
myself.
Forgives you, things like that.
So I met with his son, and he forgave me when we went to court. And he was like, he totally understood. He knew what was going on, but his daughter didn't. I don't know if that would really help. I think it's just I don't know if you've heard of parts therapy, but there's different parts of you that are created in your psyche based off of events that you've been through. So that part of me, I just connect with that part of me, with her, and just give her love and compassion and understanding, because that's what I couldn't give myself up until this point. And that's the only thing that I can really do with it. That's
like the best explanation, because I've done, well, I'm a huge proponent for like ketamine therapy.
Yeah.
That's one of the companies I've worked with on social media, as I do some at-home stuff, and I've talked about it here on the show. But that was like, I had this moment within some of the treatments where I felt like it was like a meeting of the Logans. It was so weird. It was like,
I know what you're talking about.
Like,
I've been there.
It was literally like little Logan is over there. Well, chubby little Logan with little glasses.
He was adorbs.
And then it was I was the ringmaster in my kindergarten circus. I'm just saying.
I could see that for sure. Yeah, I could see that.
And now he's the ringmaster for real.
Yeah. Of my own internal circus. And then I had like, mid to late 20s Logan, who was really messed up, didn't know he was bipolar, making mistakes, hurting people, ruining my life. Right. Then I have like current me and then future me. Mm-hmm. And it was kind of like, hey, you two, your time is over.
Yeah, because they're running the show, right?
Like, thank you for everything you did to get us here. But me and this guy, we're going forward. Mm-hmm. You guys need to we need to put you to rest. And it was like, that was one of the most healing things I think I'd ever done. Right. Was like sending those two off and like acknowledging everything and like having this like internal like inventory conversation. Yeah. And so I'd never heard it described like that, of like parts of me. Yeah.
I'm glad that you said that, because I wanted to talk about this on this podcast. Was what happens when we go through bad experiences in our life, right? We look back and we feel like guilt and we feel shame and we feel really bad about it. But that is literally what we did in the moment when those things happen. So that keeps us in the cycle and it perpetuates the cycle of it. And there's a shame cycle and a guilt cycle and, putting yourself down cycle. So what needs to happen is you actually have to go back into that part of yourself and give him what he needed in that moment. And what we do is we punish ourselves and we judge ourselves and we hold ourselves on the cross and we put ourselves down constantly. And you're putting down every age before you. And it's not just within each of you. It's also, it spreads into your family. If you have kids, your DNA is connected to your children. That's why they say it's ancestral trauma and doing like ancestral work, because your DNA is actually never separated. Like your bloodline is connected for life. So you're sending shame down your bloodline to your kids, and you're sending shame and guilt down to your children, and then to your wife and your coworkers. So whatever is going on inside of you, you're sharing that with everybody around you.
It as like a crutch. Oh, I'm this way because my dad was this way. Right. My mom was
Which is the victim mentality that I was telling you about earlier.
Ooh, I feel like this could be like a 3-hour episode. So let's see. Give us the. So I'm way more open than I ever would have been years ago. This is one thing. So I was raised LDS. Went on the mission and all that stuff. And I haven't been, a member of that church for quite a while, but I went on a mission and I was in Canada, and one of the most profound couples that I got to spend a lot of time with at the time, I viewed them as like just this kooky couple. She was hippie, she was a hypnotherapist. He was a Reiki master and an acupuncturist. And she was always like offering to like when we go and visit them to like do some sessions with us, and he wanted to do, but it was like, I was so closed off that it was like, I'm always like, nothing ever works or whatever. But as I've like matured and I've been open to the more like, just like spiritual realms of a few different things and going through some of my own traumas and stuff like that, since I've opened myself up to, and that has nothing to do with like a specific religion. I was just to kind of give you the premise of why I was in Canada. But like, as I was like
chasing trains.
Yeah, chasing trains. That's a whole nother story. But my point behind that is like, now I'm like, man, I had this like free tap in with these two like super intuitive people, and I didn't ever do anything with it for 6 months. I was hanging out with them.
Dang.
And then,
well, their energy was 100% affecting yours. Like, I believe in that.
She was such a vibe. Like, she was like always like, Verna was always just like up all the time, like almost like too high up. Anyways, but as I've kind of progressed through life and gone through some of the things I've done, I've like realized how the connection with everything, and like same thing of like, we've only physically seen you like 3 times since we met. And it's like, already we're at the hugs and the, how are you? And the, like I said, just feeling the vibe. So I'm not surprised that this is like your line of work. So how do you get into this line of work? Like, give us the breakdown.
So I had to get certified. I got certified through the NGH, which is the National Guild of Hypnotism. So it's the most accredited school in the U.S. Well, really anywhere in the world. But
like Hogwarts?
It is a little bit like Hogwarts. There's some weird that goes on in there for sure.
For Logan.
Well, that's a first. Normally it's the other way around.
He's over there like taking this seriously, like, get your shit together.
Come on, Logan.
Have you guys had Waze energy drinks?
Oh my God.
I've had 4.
Oh, man.
So, what would you say to somebody who might be more of a skeptic, or someone maybe like Tyson, who's like,
I'm not a skeptic. I'm not a skeptic at all. It's just like that's scary.
Well,
to
okay,
me.
Tyson,
But what
maybe,
would you say?
Yeah.
Oh,
so,
sorry.
like, what would you say? What would you say to somebody who's like, oh, that's not real, or it's mind tricks, or like, I can't be hypnotized? Obviously, some people are probably thinking more kind of like, swinging the clock in front of your
Yes,
face,
yeah.
like Hollywood stuff.
Yeah. So let's talk about that, because every networking event I go to, they're like, oh, what do you do? And I say hypnotherapist, and I will instantly know who's open and who's not based off of their reaction.
Sure.
So when you start to study the mind and the nervous system, you learn body language and behavior, right? Because you have to in order to
always
do.
judging people.
I'm always reading the room, and I will be number 1 in reading the room.
What'd you learn
compared
about
to
Logan
everybody.
just looking at him?
We'll go into that another. That's a whole other separate podcast.
She's like, that's an episode on its own.
That's an episode on its own.
Like, I don't want to hurt anyone's
We're not going to get
feelings right now.
distracted. But I do get a lot like, oh, you're not going to do something that you're not going to make me do something I don't want to do. Well, first of all, like, let's really think about this, like, higher perspective. If I could force someone to do something I didn't want them to do, I would have like programmed the wealthiest man alive to give me millions and billions of dollars, and I wouldn't be sitting here on this podcast with you guys. I'd be on an island.
So it's not like Matlock where you get hypnotized, you go kill someone.
Yeah, that's not possible.
So basically, it's like you're just unlocking what the mind really wants.
Yes. And also, you cannot go past someone's free will. There is a part of the psyche of free will that is built. This is science. So you cannot make someone do what you want to do. And I'll reference my kids too. Like, they don't listen right away. I would have programmed them to put their shoes where they go. If it was like I can make suggestions, but I can't forcibly make you do something you don't want to do. So that lowers the guard, right? Because a lot of my job and my career is disarming people. Like, look at your body language compared to Tyson's body language. He is completely like literally legs, arms folded. And what that is, it's called resistance. So
yeah, you got 2 crosses going on.
Yeah.
Your legs are crossed.
So-
Why did I know that? I knew that.
you
Better?
just knew that.
Well,
because we're tapping in.
Well, one,
Logan.
there's with arms wide open. No, so one, as a big guy, we tend to fold our arms because it covers our squishiness.
Yeah, because then you feel a little more comfortable
Yeah.
because you're kind of ashamed or not feeling good about your stomach. Women do it way more than men do.
Also, my shoulders
100%.
hurt, and so this helps my shoulders. So
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever like you want to say.
I
But
love
I'm
that.
just kidding.
So, is there any other like myths or debunked things or things like that we want to talk about?
That
before we
it
get
doesn't
into
work. A lot of people will be like, well, it doesn't work. No, what doesn't work is your unwillingness to do the work. So you can't force someone to do the work. So if you're not open and willing and ready to do the work, it's not going to happen. Like, you can't force an athlete to be a better athlete if he wants to give up on the field. Like, we all know this. We see this mindset work in athletes all the time. People that really want to do it will do it. 100% of the time. If you don't really want to do it, you're going to make up excuses. And they're going to be like, I don't have time. I don't have money. I don't have freedom. I don't have permission. But what you're really saying underneath that is, I don't want to do this, or I don't want to let you down. I don't want you to judge me. I don't want you to see me in a vulnerable state, right?
Which in like a manifestation world, basically all the universe is hearing at that point is
Yes.
like, okay,
what
what
if it's
not
all
to
that
give
but
you?
vulnerable?
What not
Like, I
to
don't
do.
care seeing people see me vulnerable,
Right.
but it's just, but like, you don't want to hurt anyone. You don't want to let people down.
Right. Well, that's a deeper, we're going to have to go deep on that, right? If we want to go into what your blocks are and what your fears are, then it takes a level or a capacity of being open to hearing that. And it can be really hard to hear because you're already hard on yourself. So it's really hard to hear from somebody else outside of you that there's something wrong. You're going to take it personal, right? So you've
Facts.
probably had a hard time
Life.
in your marriage being able to come and say that you've messed up or done something wrong because you're already beating yourself up. You can't handle your stress capacity is up here. You can't handle your wife being disappointed in you. So you'll just kind of keep it over here, but it compounds and it affects your mental health. Therefore, dad bods, podcasts, whatever
So
your journey
my
is.
heart's pounding right now because it's scary.
So we got like 30 minutes left. You think you could?
No, we're doing longer than 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we'll see.
Well,
We'll see where it goes.
here's the cool part about what I do is I don't have to get you in a hypnotic state to do a lot of this work. Like, because I'm so skilled in what I do, we can just have this conversation right here and make a lot of things happen and shift a lot of things right? Because your brain is so smart that as soon as I hit something, it's going to bring that emotion to the brainstem so that you can process it, and then it's really going to be gone.
Okay.
So
Who's first?
You.
Does that mean we're doing Tyson first?
yeah, like whoever says who like has to go first.
It's okay, baby.
No, you do it.
Oh,
fine.
hold his hand. It's okay.
No, I don't want to go first.
That's why you need to go first, because you
I
don't
don't
want
know
to.
why I'm so nervous.
But
It's
let
not
me-
like I've never like been vulnerable before.
It's not about vulnerability. We have to like. What I'm going to do with you is disarm you because your armor's up, right?
Oh, it's big time up. I
Yeah.
can tell.
Yeah.
I'm just imagining Shrek with the armor, with him and I'm Donkey. You know what I mean?
Wait, does that make me? Who am I then? Like,
Princess Fiona.
or I can be the
Yeah,
cat.
because she knows like karate and stuff.
Oh yes. Okay, that sounds about right.
Who could
Yep,
beat
that's
who
me.
could beat each other up? You or your husband?
Aaron's Lord Farquaad. Okay. Anyways, now that we're in the right state of mind,
Okay. Yes. Now that we're good.
I don't want to go first. You go first.
Well, let's just dive into it. Okay.
she's not giving you the opportunity.
Let's
but
just dive into it. What are you afraid of the most? Like, if you could just say one thing, if you can pinpoint one thing, what are you afraid of the most?
Give
me specifics.
Keep failing
Failing.
because I think I keep failing.
Okay, so hold that. What does failure mean to you? Like, what is the definition you give failure?
Not being able to give security to my family.
Okay, so you're the provider,
Oh yeah.
right? And if you can't provide, what does it mean about Tyson if he cannot provide?
He's a failure.
I know, but let's go deeper.
I
Like,
am,
what does it mean about you if you're a failure and you can't provide for your family? Where does that put you?
Alone?
Okay, so you're afraid that you're going to be alone.
I don't think my wife would leave me, but I think there's an element where the disappointment would be there so much that no one would want to be by me or be with me.
Mm-hmm.
Or like she would have to like go and find jobs and stuff like that. And like she's like telling me just today, she's like, I can go find a job right now. And I'm like, $100 a paycheck is not going to help. You know what
Right,
I mean? And I'm just
right.
like, just you continue doing your thing and I'll figure it out. But it's just like,
Well, can I ask you about your relationship with your dad? Like, what kind of relationship you had with him?
so my biological father, I met him the first time when I was 34. And he was, mind you, I love my dad.
Right. Wait, hold on. Let's pause. I just want to like reference this because I see this a lot with people. What you did just now was invalidate yourself, and I'll show you how,
All right.
or how you love your father. You can at the same time recognize that you didn't meet your biological father, and it doesn't denote or take away from the love you have for your father. So that's one of your patterns already that I'm catching, is that you think this means this, but they're actually not connected. They're separate. Your love for your dad has nothing to do with how you feel about your biological father. So we need to separate those in your mind and in your psyche so that you can create different relationships with both of those people.
That's always how it's been though.
Yes.
Like my family's always been like, we don't talk about it. It's kind
Right.
of something that we just don't talk about.
So bury it, suppress it.
Even with my mom, like we just don't talk about it.
Okay.
And, but with that being said, but I think they were trying to protect me.
Right.
They
Well,
were
most
doing it
people
out
have
of
good
love.
intentions.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
were doing it
yeah.
out of love.
But hold on,
yeah.
pause frame, because we're in a frame. I'll teach you some of this stuff later on. So how do you feel about that? Because you're talking about how your mom talks about it and, you know, kind of putting it over there. But how does Tyson feel about not being able to talk about it? Who do you talk about it with then? Where does this information go?
I haven't talked about it ever.
Ever.
I talked about it. I uncovered this true feeling 3-4 weeks ago with Ken with Upgrade, where my whole life it was crazy what he did. He asked me all these questions, and then basically I felt like a burden. He's like, "When did you feel at what age? Before, during, or after?" I'm like, "During." I'm like, "What?" And then he's like, and then basically just my whole life I felt like a burden.
Yes.
Because
Which I was going to ask you.
I wasn't supposed to be here,
Yeah.
type of thing.
Yes.
And so my whole life, and so it's like then we kind of substitute it with a blessing, and that's the bird that was out and now wants to come back in. But it's I met my biological father when I was about 34. He left My mom and me, never met him. He was addicted to drugs, alcohol, that kind of stuff. And met him the first time. Supposedly he was sober. Met him at my biological grandpa's funeral. And I thought, okay, let's go. Me and my wife and my oldest, we went, and he was drunk. And I'm like, and it hurt. I'm like, if you've never met your son before and you came drunk, and it ticked me off. And I've never met him, like, and then he died from ALS a while ago.
Okay, so you got to meet him one time before.
Just he was drunk, and I was ticked. I was really upset.
Yeah, which you had every right to be.
Yeah, I was like, you've never met me. I'm your son that you have a whole family. I met my half siblings, and I'm like, oh, if I look like a girl, that's what it would, if I was a girl. But awesome siblings. But yeah, it's just like, dude, you have a whole family, and like you couldn't take one day to be just sober for me,
right?
And to be clear and talk to me. And I saw him for about 5 minutes. I left. I was that mad. And then about 3-4 years later, he got ALS. I talked to him on the phone right before he passed, and that was it.
Okay. So I want to help connect some stuff for your mind, just for awareness. So you have this block of not wanting to not be able to provide, because if you don't provide, it means, which we didn't get you to expose earlier, but you already said it, so now I can share it. It means that you're a burden, right? If you can't provide for your family, that equals you're a burden to your family and your wife, right? And that's the fear. The fear is you don't want to be a burden. But what happened in your childhood, in your psyche, feeling like a burden, is now connected and transferred into your reality because it's unhealed. So we will create, and there are lots of psychologists that have proven this. Gabor Mate is one that I'll reference because he's my favorite. But whatever you didn't heal in your childhood will be acting out in your current reality. So you are creating the opportunity to be a burden because that part of you in your psyche is unhealed. So the way to remove that block and to not become a burden and fail your family in your perception is not actually making more money and working harder and doing more like you think. It's actually going into that part of your psyche and processing what you didn't process, right? So your mind and your body, your nervous system is like an internal processor. And a lot of people are trying to like go around healing, like they're going through the back door and they're not wanting to sit in it. And you don't have to feel anything. You don't need to go back into that moment. But now psychologists are proving that you actually do, because what you didn't process is suppressed. And suppression lives in your nervous system and in your immune system. And that causes mental health problems, weight gain, stress. And for men, it causes suicide, right?
2 days ago, I was like, didn't tell Logan this or anyone, but it was like 2 days ago. I'm like, if I die, I'm okay.
Right.
I'm not.
Like if I wasn't suicidal, I didn't think that. I don't want to hurt myself. It was more like if someone hits me,
right,
or if I have a heart attack right now, it's okay. I'd be happy.
Well, also, hold on. Let's freeze there. Why? Because you feel like a burden right now.
Yeah, it's just like everything that from businesses to everything. I just feel like I've created a lot of havoc.
Right.
And it was all meant to be good, but right now it's just stress upon stress upon stress, and I know everyone can feel it, and it just sucks.
Yeah. So what if I told you that whatever you're avoiding, right? Whatever you're avoiding and resisting is the gateway and the key to freeing you from all of that. What would you do with that information?
I don't know. To me, I don't know what decisions I would make differently. Like if,
right.
Because I feel like everything I've been doing was the correct decision.
Okay, hold on. Now we're opening up different frames in your mind.
Sorry, but
no.
I have a hard time. I have a hard time understanding my financial issues have to do with me feeling like a burden,
right?
Because I'm like, I was still made the same decision, so I don't understand.
It's not about changing decisions, right? But you did just say something that you've said multiple times: making the right decision. Right? Where does that frame come from in your mind? Like, where did you hear and learn in your reality that there is a right decision and a wrong decision?
Church.
Okay. So what we can do is say that that's a belief system. That's an operating system in your mind right now. that there's a right and there's a wrong. There's a good and there's a bad.
Mm-hmm.
That is not truth. And that is not a fact, right? Because I know people that have made worse decisions than you that are making way more money than you. How are they doing that, right?
I've always wondered, I'm not joking, I've always thought that. I'm like,
yes.
I've always like, dude, I see what they do like in their free time. I'm like, how are they doing so well?
And do you know why you're doing that? Because you also have in your system comparison. So you're comparing yourself to other people, and comparison is the thief of joy, my friend. It is the thief of joy because it's a distraction. It's a distraction of your own greatness. Therefore, you can sit and focus on things outside of your control versus what you really need to look at, which is inside of you. Mm-hmm. It's all a distraction, right? And like all of the resistance I see in your body that's happening is also another distraction. And where else in your life are you distracting yourself because of whatever you're avoiding?
Well, what am I avoiding?
Pain, right? You're avoiding emotion. So you think that you're like, and this is
Is this why I have the humor I have?
Yes, because you use humor to mask the pain because you avoid the pain. You don't want to feel the pain. But I get why you don't want to feel the pain because I understand what it feels like to feel abandoned. I know what it feels like to not wanted to be wanted by a parent, especially an alcoholic. That hurts. Like you're going to take that so personal, Tyson, because it's the one person that gave you life. Mm-hmm. That one person that gave you life doesn't even want to be in your life. And until you actually really validate yourself and see yourself, this is going to be a constant loop. And it's deadly. And here's why it's deadly. Your reptilian brain wants to keep you in what's comfortable. And you know what's comfortable for Tyson and these versions of him?
The anxiety.
Not just anxiety, but punishing yourself, feeling like you're an abandoned, like you're a burden to other people, feeling like you're adding to them in a negative way. You're putting yourself down constantly, having negative thoughts about yourself constantly. And then also whenever you're having a hard time, you suppress it and keep it to yourself and you don't share it with other people. So you can't get the love and the nurturing that you need.
I feel like people, like I love my wife. But there's so much going on in her mind and with the kids and all that kind of stuff. I feel like when I share stuff, it's not heard.
Right.
Like it's heard, like she can hear it, but she can't hear it.
Right.
And so sometimes I feel like it's just.
Does she have the capacity for your emotional state?
I would say yes and no. There are days where she has it too.
Right.
Like she's going through it. Like, cause I've created this. And so she feels it. And I've done my best in the past to hide it from her, meaning hide my emotions from her so she couldn't feel the stress I have. I'm not very good at hiding it. And so she can feel it. And therefore I'm giving it to her just because she can feel it. So so when I say something to her, it's a lot of times she will take it offensive. Mm-hmm. When that wasn't even remote, had nothing to do about her or about anything. It all has, I'm just feeling this way and I don't know what to do type of thing.
Right. Okay. So I can tell you what's going on there because that's going to really affect your marriage and it's going to put a huge strain on your relationship. So men have been taught and programmed and conditioned, right? I'm sure you both agree that you are weak if you feel emotion. And if you share emotion, you're judged and weak. And there's a lot of conditioning on the planet, which is what programs your subconscious mind, like your belief systems and your thoughts. So what's happening on the planet is there's a massive shift of men who have been suppressing and women who have been suppressing, right? This is a mirror between the both of us, men and women. What's happening is women have been disconnected from their intuition and men have lived in their logic mind. Both sexes have not been in their heart, which is where we thrive. Our heart is a brain and it sends more signals to the brain than any other part of your body. And a lot of us have not lived here. We live in our heads. Okay. So women are getting into intuition. Men are getting back into their hearts. And because of that, there's a lot of stuff in your nervous system that has been suppressed. And what that causes in you is for you to not be self-aware and not be present, not be grounded, not be in the moment with your wife. And that's what she's responding to. It's not your emotion. It's the lack of intelligence of your emotion, right? Knowing how you're feeling and knowing what to do with how you're feeling, which was never taught to men. So I'm like, I totally have men's back.
Well, you just said, I don't know what to do, I guess.
Yes, you don't know what to do with the emotion, but it's coming up regardless of what you want to do because it's a collective experience that we're going through, right? This validates why you need somebody like me in your corner or whoever you choose to go and deal with that and repattern your nervous system, because we're talking about coping mechanisms and different frames in your mind and belief systems that are all at play. It's not just this argument with your wife or disagreement or this moment.
And it doesn't happen very often. It's just, but sometimes
right.
Bubbles out. Like
Yes.
I can't handle anything else. Like I'm overstimulated almost.
Right.
And it's just like, okay, this is the last straw and this isn't you. But
Right.
this is how I'm feeling. And then I hope she understands when she hears this, because
Right.
she listens, and it's just like, I love her to death. It's just, sometimes I don't think I'm heard,
Right.
and it sucks. And sometimes she probably feels the same way.
Yes. Well, there's always a mirror between relationships, right? There's always like whatever you get to heal within you might be a mirror of what she needs to heal within her. And that's why you came together, so you can heal. But there's a difference of like sitting in the and getting stuck in your and doing the real work. The real work is subconscious, not conscious. Because guess what? When you guys are in those moments, you're both in fight or flight. And what happens when you're in fight or flight response, just in case nobody knows, your blood leaves prefrontal cortex and goes into the reptilian part of the brain. And you actually lose blood flow from your arms and your legs, just like you would a cold plunge, for survival. So you cannot make decisions from that place. Don't make any decisions from that place. Don't have a conversation from that place. Don't talk and hash things out from that place. That's a moment for you to either disengage and regulate your nervous systems, or create tools to come together and co-regulate your nervous systems, right? Because what's happening is you're both in fight or flight, and you're going nowhere. You're going to spin in circles because you're in fight, flight, or freeze. That's what you're going to get from that person. So it's good to understand what your triggers are. It's good to understand what her triggers are, and for you guys to communicate that with each other and to know when you're triggered. And how are you going to know when you're triggered when you're always up here because of the stress levels that you have, right?
You want to know something hilarious? Is the doctor gave me Valium so that I could get into I'm super claustrophobic, and I have a cyst in my pituitary gland.
Oh,
and I have to go in every now and then to make sure it didn't grow or anything like that, and because it shuts off my hormones sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
But I took a Valium and I had a panic attack.
Yep.
Because my body wasn't used to it.
Well, your nervous system is really capped out, maxed out right now, which is why I like really poured into you in that moment, because I feel for you and I see you and I can see what the struggles are and I can see the pain that's inside of you, and I'm here for you and I want to help you genuinely, whether you have the money or not. You need it, right? You need to go deeper and to understand these programs and these coping mechanisms that you built as a young child. And you need to go back into those ages, and you need to give yourself different love than you're giving yourself. Because right now you're giving yourself shame and guilt, and you're holding yourself in that point. And that little boy that was abandoned doesn't deserve that, right? He doesn't deserve to be talked down to. He doesn't deserve to be told that it's okay if I go today, right? Mm-hmm. That's not you, by the way. That's not you talking to yourself. That's you being in fight or flight. And you actually like disassociate completely from who you truly are. You don't even have blood flow in your heart in those moments, right? So it's not you talking. It's pain talking. It's undealt with moments in your life that are coming through and driving the bus of who Tyson is right now. So of course you're not going to close deals, right? Of course you're not going to have a healthy relationship, because you have to create that internally to have it externally outside of you. And that's subconscious framework. That's programming. You have chemistry wrapped around this. You have biochemistry that is addicted to who you've been for 30 plus years. This does not just happen overnight. Like I've been working on this for myself for 7 years to get to where I am consistently. Deep, 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 deep work, right? And everybody wants it overnight. Everybody's like, just do it now. Like, give it to me all now. Well, that's why we're in this loop. That's why we're in a mental health pandemic, because we want everything like that.
It's true.
Damn.
Just give me a pill and I'll be fine.
That little boy did not deserve that.
Yeah.
Like, hit me in the face. Because like I've never seen you as like a little boy, because I met you when I was 34 and you were 44 or 43, 33, whatever. It doesn't matter. We met, and it's like we didn't grow up knowing what each other looked like as kids and experience it. So it's like that almost like made me, even though you're the one experiencing this right now, I'm like, I like saw little Tyson for a minute, which I don't know if you've ever been little.
I was little.
So like I just saw like I like almost like took my son Elliot and then like almost like envisioned you as I see Elliot now. And it like hurt me for you for a sec. Because it's like, I would never want my boy to go through anything like that. So it's like the thought that you went through something broke my heart for you.
Do you have kids?
6.
You have 6 kids.
I do, all from the same wife. And we do have a healthy relationship. There's just days where I'm struggling.
Oh yeah. A healthy relationship is like the people who fight. If you don't fight, it's not healthy. I'm sorry. Like,
no,
if you have no disagreements.
I'm not worried that she's going to think I'm sharing too much, but I just like, I love her to death. It's
so here's your fear of judgment coming up again, right? There it is. Where does that come from? What happens if someone, because I know what it is, but I want to know if you know what it is. If someone does judge you and disagree with you, what happens inside of you?
Guilt.
Okay.
Like a lot.
A lot of guilt.
Embarrassment. And I have to know why.
Okay.
I hate that.
So did you know that you're programmed for being loved and that you will abandon yourself 100% of the time in order to be loved? Mm-hmm. Especially if you have abandonment wounds, right? Which you have some pretty deep ones because of what you shared about your father and your biological father. And it was almost just like it was already there. And then you met him and it got really hardwired, probably even worse because the only time you met him, he was under the influence. So that's some deep stuff. That's not going to be something that we can just sit on the podcast and talk about and heal. Like that's some deep work right there. I promise. Cause I've been through it 100%. I was adopted. Like my mom and dad didn't want me. I've been through it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah.
And that wasn't even technically like hypnotherapy.
No.
Was it?
No.
That was like you said, you're just like, you're more experienced.
Yeah.
But see, I like that because
this is a part of hypnotherapy.
You
Yes.
met him where he was at.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like, there is a level of which he expressed like, not even discomfort's of the word, or just like maybe hesitancy, right?
Yeah, it's just like some of this stuff. I'm like, maybe I'm oversharing for everyone. Like if it was just us 3.
I don't feel uncomfortable about it.
I feel like your fear of judgment is coming out because we talked about it earlier. There are no coincidences. Everything's connected.
I'm still having a hard time understanding.
But think about
how financials has to do with all of this.
Oh.
Other than you're saying it, the decisions I make and the things I do is based upon abandonment and punishment. But in my mind, I'm like, I swear I'm choosing the things that I need to choose.
But like you said, this is not a
right or wrong
30-minute podcast.
Yeah, but the right or wrong crap, I'm just like, that threw me. I'm like,
well, I'll just explain this so you have more understanding. Subconscious is stuff that's happening that you're not thinking about. So you're not actively thinking about fear of judgment, abandonment, maybe afraid of being super successful. Like you're not actively thinking about what happened in your childhood and how it's playing out in your current reality.
Background programs that are running.
Yes, it's background programming. But if I were to get a whiteboard, because I do this like timeline with all of my clients, if I were to get a whiteboard and put down all of your language patterns, I would be able to connect everything that you've said to me to a certain age in your life. And you would be like, holy shit, that's insane. I promise you I could do that in 10 minutes. Like I already have enough information about you that I know that the fear of judgment causes you to make different decisions. The fear of abandonment causes you to make different decisions because subconscious happens first, then you have beliefs, and then you have actions and behaviors last. So what you see all day long, actions and behaviors, that's the last part of your brain and how it works. The first part is sub, which is your childhood, your upbringing, your conditioning, what you believe, what you say to yourself. Then you see the actions and behavior. So if you really want to change your life, like what you're doing every day, you actually have to go deep and reprogram those belief systems. Does that make more sense?
it does.
Yeah.
He's like,
I just don't like it. Damn it, Felicia got me in a corner over here.
Felicia.
But I do want to say something to your wife or to the women that are listening because I think this is super beneficial, especially if you're more conscious in your relationship and you want something healthy, because I have my amazing man over here watching this. We've gone head to head in some serious triggers that we've had from past relationships and trauma. And what I learned very quickly in this relationship is whenever those things happen, I see that little boy inside of him that is acting out. And now what I do as a woman, because I'm so powerful and so nurturing and I'm able to like tap in and use my energy for good, is I give that little boy what he needs. A lot of women get heated and fired up and like, trust me, I've done that. But a lot of women don't understand this work, so they don't do this work. But what I want them to know is like, if you are in those triggered moments with your partners and you look at them as if they're a little boy, right? Throwing a fit or upset or not able to talk through his emotions or feel his emotions and give that little boy what he needs, it's pretty magical what happens.
Well, and I'm glad you're saying this from your perspective as a woman, right? Because obviously, like, there is women that listen to the show, but then there's a lot of guys on the show that will probably feel like just the fact that you're saying little boy is emasculating.
Right.
But from the perspective, as a man, if you are in any kind of committed relationship, I don't care how your relationship looks or who plays what role. The moments when I have been at my wit's end and it's like my wife has just pulled me in and just like head on the shoulder, head on the lap, kind of like just that nurturing.
Yes.
That makes everything immeasurably better.
100%.
So it's like, that is like, I've watched my wife do that with our little boy.
That's healing. Tell me that's not healing for you.
It's not little boy in an emasculating way. It's like, no, it's that like you are the nurturing individual in the relationship now, because as a child, it should be a parent or a mother. And obviously to some situation that doesn't always happen, but like, that was an amazing perspective. I never looked at it that way, because it's like that will make, and there's content all over social media of like the hardened blue collar guy who comes home from an 80-hour work week or whatever, and then she just sits on the counter and pulls him in and just like head on the shoulder, and it's just like, okay, I'm good. Like that's kind of all it takes sometimes. Yeah,
what I think of is 300, right? Like that's how I see men and women in the highest level of union and relationship. Is the man is built, like men are built to go to war. Men are built to handle a lot, but they can't when they don't come home to a loving, nurturing environment. I have boys. I've raised men. I've raised my boys to be men. And I have watched the difference of when I'm like really rigid and cutting, like using my tongue in a sharp way, when I'm not being loving, when I'm not being nurturing, I watch my boys diminish and I watch them shrink, because I'm cutting them down and I'm breaking them down. And what I learned with my oldest, because he told me, he was like, Mom, I'm already really hard on myself. When you tell me this stuff, I feel like a failure. Literally word for word what you've said, my son has told me. He told me that when he was 13. I started making changes as a woman and a mother, and I took that to heart. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to do nothing but give you positive reinforcement and be very firm and stern and hold you to the highest level what I think a man is. And so I do that in my relationship. Like when he's feeling insecure or weak or whatever, I remind him of who he is, right? But I only get that side of him in an intimate moment. He's not that way out in public and with people. Only I get to access that. Why? Because I'm nurturing and I'm loving and I'm not putting him down and making him feel like he's a piece of shit all the time, like a lot of women do. I hate to say it, but a lot of women are very rigid because they're out of tune with their nurturing and loving self, because they've been masculine, they've been over masculine, and they've been put into a place of not being able to be women and be soft because of stuff that they've been through.
Well, I like that reference you made to the movie 300, because in that movie, the queen basically says like, I make soldiers.
Yes.
Like,
and that's literally
I am this nurturing mother, but I make badass
100%.
Like,
yes.
Yeah. But it's like, but at the same time, she's a nurturing, loving, inspiring woman.
Yeah. That's how you make the soldier. That's how you do it.
I'm going to go take a nap.
Tyson's drain.
He's like, I'm done.
So like I said, this is going to be a little bit of a longer episode, because like now I want my turn.
Yes.
And I don't know if you were kind of like different. I don't know. I'll let you lead. I'm a little bit of a control freak. So.
Yeah. Well, I already know because of the way that you're doing this with your hands. So, right. The hands are why I let him control, do his thing. Holding on.
I just let him do his thing.
Okay. But also, I mean, just saw something else. Oh, you guys are a lot of fun. I love this. Thank you for letting me do this.
What did you see?
Well, I can see a lot of your passiveness in that moment, which is unhealthy for men. When you're passive as a man, it puts you in your feminine energy.
Fight me, bitch.
Right?
Just kidding.
I destroyed
maybe, I don't know, I'm guessing maybe you're afraid of your power as a man and your strength for whatever reason. I don't know why, but when men...
I hurt people.
Exactly. So because of the fear of hurting others, you've become passive, which I will just tell you right now, like as a woman, it is the most unattractive thing when a man is passive.
That's why my wife hates me.
That's why she doesn't love me. And I'm not saying this in a rude way or anything, I promise. Like I totally understand passive communication, but I would consider myself a communication expert. I love communication. I'm all about it. You can ask him. When a man is passive, it creates uncertainty for women, and women don't feel safe in uncertainty. They don't. Like we cannot create safety in uncertainty because we have so much going on in our minds.
And that's all I've created.
Right. So in order to create safety, it means that you have to be direct in your communication, which means you have to let go of the fear of judgment and the fear of hurting people in order to be direct.
Shut up.
It's okay. No, you can battle me on anything you want. Like, I'm not going
need to make an appointment.
I'm not going to judge you,
Go see
right? Like,
Felicia.
you can say whatever you want. You can disagree with me. I won't ever take it personal if I'm wrong.
No, I was going to say I don't ever feel like I'm worried about being judged, and then I'm like, I do with certain people, with certain things.
Yeah.
But like people I don't know, I don't care anymore.
But it's the people closest to you. Oh, and that's like all that matters, honestly. And your authentic self deserves to be here. Like the authentic Justin deserves to be here in front of everybody.
Tyson.
Oh,
You just negated
I'm done.
everything.
I'm done.
Security.
Oh, so now you're gonna judge
Okay,
me.
hold on.
Wait, now you're gonna judge
You
me.
get everybody's name wrong. Everybody's name wrong.
What?
Oh, so I'm
you were like,
dishing some of your own
Oh,
medicine.
what's
Dude,
that one guy? What was that one?
I don't know why I can't remember
You'd be like,
names.
what's that one guy's name?
Because
Steve.
you say that, so stop saying that.
Yeah.
Don't say that anymore.
You'd be like, what was that one guy's name? Steve? Yeah, close. It was Jake.
I used to. No, I've struggled with that, so I apologize for that. I've actually struggled with that.
No, my feelings aren't hurt at all.
Okay, cool. I mean, I wasn't worried about that, but I just want to apologize
No, they're
because I had that same issue in the past. So what I do is like when I meet somebody, I make something funny
Is that
about
like-
them.
What's that movie?
Tyson Chicken
House
Trucks.
Funny?
Yes. Yeah. So I make like something funny to remember their name because I've been in that moment where you're like super embarrassed because you don't remember their name. It's the worst, probably the worst feeling on the planet.
Pal,
What was your name again?
Tiger?
Oh, there's people been in my life for years, and I
Yeah.
don't know their names, and I'm like, it's way too late to
Yeah.
ask.
Yeah.
And so
Or
I just,
like
Yeah.
with networking, sometimes we go to this X room, like where
Yes.
you go to, and it's like,
Yes.
hey, how you been? I'm like, great. How are you?
How are you? So there's a trick to that. I'll bring Remington and be like, hey, this is Remington. And the person will be like, oh, hi, my name is so-and-so. Like that's how I get around that one.
Good. Dang it.
So use each other for that.
Have you
know?
met Tyson?
Yeah. Have you
Like,
met
yeah, we
Tyson?
have.
And then you go up, oh, what was your name?
They met you too.
And then you're screwed in that moment.
This doesn't work.
I can't help you with that one.
Okay, so we're gonna go
So
a
you're
little
a
bit over
control
on this
freak.
episode. Oh, I'm well, yeah. I mean, okay.
Here it is. He's
Damn.
already losing control. Oh no.
I'm like, I start just like shaking. I'm like,
You totally would 100%. You would start
is this why I
convulsing.
sit in the middle? Are we finding stuff out already?
this is why you lead the discussion. This is why
We're making room for
Is this why the Dad Bods logo looks like me?
because you chose
Not
it.
even talking yet.
Oh man. Yeah, what's going on there? We haven't even started.
Okay.
You got this.
Make sure my mascara doesn't run.
What did you
I
say?
said make sure my mascara doesn't run because when I start laughing, I start crying. So.
Oh,
That's
you
good.
said you had the runs. I'm like, oh.
No,
So
that was last week.
When you went to Lake
Okay.
Tahoe,
Yeah.
he
We
pooped.
don't need to go over that story every time.
oh, I love
I
got
had
it.
so
stomach
sick.
problems in Lake Tahoe, and it's a little bit less blue now. Okay,
Okay, that's good to know.
and a little bit of corn.
just Kings Beach on the north side. Go a little bit farther east, and you're
Okay.
good.
Okay. Okay. Good to know.
Okay. Anyways, on
All
that
right.
note, fix me.
Fix me. Yes, I love it. Okay, so you said you're a control freak. What causes you to say that? Where does that come from?
I think it's because I spent so long out of control.
So you had moments in your life where you didn't have control.
Years.
Like the majority of your life.
Yeah. So
Right.
bipolar
Okay.
diagnosed.
Okay, so that makes sense.
Diagnosed
That's
almost
connecting.
8 years ago. The anniversary's coming up.
Right.
But that was just the diagnosis.
Right.
There was years before that.
Okay.
Like,
Undiagnosed.
yeah, like
Yeah.
after high school.
Okay.
Major, like during high school, like signs looking back now.
Yeah.
And I'm 36 this year.
Okay.
Turning 36.
Okay. So, what happened in your childhood that has been so hard for you to live with that you couldn't control?
I don't have positive memories of growing up in a high demand religion.
You already connected, I'm sure, the dots of like what that created in your life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Like
I
you worked
was,
through that quite a bit.
well, it was like a series of, at least just the way that my family looked at things and generationally, like
Right.
7th generation
Mm-hmm.
member of this church. And it was
Dang.
like the whole identity
Yeah.
of the whole family. And I don't think I could ever express that I didn't feel like it identified me.
Okay.
So I was constantly like, well, I can't because.
So you suppressed yourself.
Yeah, but it wasn't even like I wanted to do all the things that I said I couldn't. I feel like it just identified me a little bit. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
So did you still make mistakes? Like, did you mess up? Did you break the rules?
Oh, yeah, everybody did.
Okay. Yes. Everybody did, but like,
I
not
feel like
everybody's
I
okay
feel like
with
I didn't
that.
have remorse
Okay.
because I didn't feel like the things that I was doing was really that terrible.
Okay.
Does that
So
make
it sounds
sense?
like you had a little more self-awareness than the people around you.
Like, I think it was because it's like I just didn't at my core really believe that. So
Okay.
it's like, so I didn't feel the godly fear.
Why didn't you?
It just didn't sit with me.
Okay. So it's more like a soul thing, it sounds like.
Yeah,
Not really.
Well, and it's the same thing of kind of like, you know, I'm one of 7 kids and
Where do
my-
you
my-
sit? Where do you sit
I'm
in the
dead
line?
center,
Oh, you're the middle child.
baby. Yeah. Yeah. So
I am too.
I've got two older sisters, an older brother than me, and then a younger sister. And then the youngest 2 are twins. And we adopted them when they were just infants. So they've been a part of our family the entire time.
Okay. So
I'm dead center.
were your needs met as a child?
Well, I feel like this is like where I feel like I'm like slamming my parents because it was like,
Wait, hold on. Remember how I caught him earlier?
Yeah.
How he was like trying to
Emotional
justify things.
emotional needs. No.
Okay. So it's not
Because it
it's
was
not
survival needs, I think. It was like, did you eat today? Literally, I joke about that, but like 7 kids, dad in and out of work. I mean, he works harder than anybody I know, but he was part of a generation where you didn't need a degree. And so then when degrees became more of a reality, those guys are the like, you know, downsized, change your position title, younger guy gets paid less with a degree.
Right.
And 7 kids, you know, dad got pooched on some bad deals, you know, that was, you know, renters trashed the house when we finally moved up to a better one. And then he had to empty the 401k. And so I just watched a good man be just kicked in the teeth my whole life. And then I think, you know, he traveled a lot. And so then my mom.
So he wasn't around a lot.
Well, but it wasn't even like, so it's like, for instance, good little Mormon boy, they all get their Eagle Scouts. Me and my brother didn't because
your
dad was always
wasn't
traveling a lot. And that's not like you didn't get, and it's like, I really didn't have a desire to. Like that really wasn't
Well,
me.
what if you
I
didn't have a desire to because you knew he wasn't going to be there?
Sure. One, like I never made it through scout camp. My first year, I called my mom within 8 hours.
So how many kids do you have?
2.
2. What kind of father are you to those kids? Like if you could describe yourself.
I love the shit out of those guys. Like
Yeah.
I have regrets. I think when I get frustrated, but I'm trying to be more
I know,
aware.
but how are you as a father now?
I feel like I'm a good dad.
Are you there?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're present.
There's times when I'm not. I think because that's where the stress and the anxiety and the escape into your phone. And I get to say I'm working because I do social media and podcasting, all that stuff full time.
Right.
So I can say I'm working.
Yeah.
It's a good excuse.
I appreciate your vulnerability right now. That's not easy
But
to
it's
admit.
like, now we got a generation of kids that want to go back outside. So sometimes they're like, Dad, can we go outside? And I'm kind of like, no, turn on a show. And then it's like, oh, like, did I just say that? Like, it just, so I feel like
You're working on it. You're a work in progress.
More often than not, I am present.
Right. But you're not traveling for work, right? You're not, are you religious with your family? Like, do your kids go to church?
No, we're more, yeah, I don't know. I mean, we talk more about, we're more emotional.
Right.
Like we talk more about like just trying to teach our kids just good-hearted natured, like good-natured, good-hearted, like human values.
Right.
Like that are not tied to, you got to do this or you don't get in.
Yeah, because you don't want to create that.
If you don't do this, then what's your eternal happiness going to look like?
Yeah.
And for me, it was like, it followed me everywhere I went. Like I couldn't make, even like, I wasn't even like, I couldn't make a certain mistake because it was like the decision was being taken away from me because of how I was raised.
Right.
And then it was like, and then it kind of, now looking back as an adult, I'm kind of like, I don't know if I ever actually believed it though.
Right. Well, but you were conditioned. It's not about belief. It's conditioning that you had, right? So you lived a whole life of suppressing what you really wanted to do. And then you spent a lot of your adulthood life not being able to control what you were doing. And you see the dichotomy in that? Like it literally was flipped from early years to adult years.
And now I feel like I want, like I've used this analogy before, but I feel like I'm starting to like pull all the branches off of an antenna. Mm-hmm. And it's not, and it's
yourself.
not like, and then maybe this is kind of tying back to how Tyson was saying things of like, but then it's like, I'm afraid that I'm like, well, I'm slamming my parents or I'm slamming, or like, you know what I mean? Like,
no.
And unfortunately, thankfully I don't think my mom listens, but it's kind of like I think there's some things I've already said that probably would hurt her feelings.
Right. But do you understand that you don't control how people feel? Because you would only say that if you think you control how other people feel.
I think I have a tendency to try to.
Exactly. But control is an illusion. And what controls you is the illusion that you have control. I can't make anybody feel a certain way. Can I influence or affect? Yes. But we all have the ultimate choice internally of how we feel.
So do you think because maybe I spent so long lying and spinning the truth when I wasn't okay to try to convince everybody that I was okay?
Yes.
That now, because I think internally I do feel okay, that I have to like tell everybody that I am or like control a situation? Or
well, that's how you heal it, right? You're healing it by having the podcast. Makes perfect sense. You lived a whole life and childhood of being suppressed, not having a voice, not getting your needs met. It's now transferred into having a podcast, using your voice, getting your needs met. So that's where the healing is. The healing isn't just in these conversations. It's what you guys are actively doing every day to break the cycles and break the patterns of what happened in your childhood. Mm-hmm. You're not maybe conscious of it, like fully conscious and aware of it, but the fact that you don't have a traveling job says a lot, right? Yeah. The fact that you have remorse around how you're showing up as a parent, which your dad probably didn't have, shows a lot. Maybe you didn't see that in his behavior, but the fact that you guys keep invalidating yourselves is the issue. It's the invalidating your own experience that suppresses that inner child.
I don't know. We live in kind of a culture where everybody starting a trauma dump.
Yes.
Which I don't think is bad in a sense.
Well, you don't need to throw up on people. That's the problem. It's like you're not actually working on healing the trauma when you're just throwing up on everybody.
Well, and sometimes I wonder because I question myself, and sometimes I question I question some of my own reality and my own history. Am I remembering this correctly? Or
there's some information you need to know. It's always correct, but that doesn't mean that is actually what happened in the moment, because as a child, you don't have a developed psyche. You don't have a prefrontal cortex until you're 10.
Yeah.
9 is when it starts to develop. You come from subconscious to conscious. So I've gone back into inner child moments with my mom on the phone, and I'm like, yeah, I remember this. And she's like, Felicia, your dad was not leaving you. He was going to the store. In my experience, he was leaving me. I was being abandoned by my dad. But it doesn't matter. The information doesn't matter. What matters is, how did you feel in the moment? Connect that to how you feel now, right? Mm-hmm. And then when you connect that and bridge that gap and you process those feelings, then you're moving forward.
So legitimately, we've joked about this a couple of times, but like in the states of like insane mania that I was in while being addicted to Adderall, like a lot of Adderall,
right?
And being bipolar, you can imagine. Where like the things I would hear and say and things that I would see and the stories I would come up with, like literally fabricate out of thin air because I felt like I had to explain something away because I had blackout periods.
Yes.
And I felt like my whole life was I better have a damn good answer for a mistake that I made. Because if I don't, it means that I'm going to ruin the eternal salvation because I have to be a part of that for everybody else to be happy. And if I'm not, and even all the way down to the current state where my wife and I have made the decision together with our children that this is not where we are going to house our identity. And that is in no way, shape or form meant to like slam if that's where anybody else wants to, right? Because I'm a big believer in I'll let you.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's your happy place. That's fine.
Yeah.
But for me, it's like, there was like this sense of validation I think I was waiting for that never came.
Yep.
From a lot of people I was raised with.
Yep.
So it's like when I finally started to step into that identity, it was almost like we're not even going to address that these are decisions that Logan has made and kind of gone differently than how he was, quote, raised. And I personally feel it's because there's not really anything negative that has happened as a direct result of me leaving.
So I'll share this really quick. It's super vulnerable share of my own, but my ex-husband had very similar issues.
Sure.
Addicted to Adderall, got really bad, like literally almost lost my life. So I know what you're talking about and I've seen it. what I've learned later on, like through his process of healing, he went to prison and everything. Like my kids lost their dad for 4 years because of that. From being like, literally he got diagnosed with ADHD, got given Adderall, used it, abused it,
That's literally
lost a $500 million business that he owned and ran, sabotaged his entire life, went to prison, the whole thing. Like I've been through that so deeply. Like I really understand it. I've learned about a lot of his childhood. Makes perfect sense. Like I have been able to connect what happened to him in his childhood, and he was raised very heavy in the religion as well, right? A lot of suppression on his end, a lot of like abuse, his needs weren't met. And I can see that translating into his adulthood life and what happened.
Well, and I think I've always been like a super hyper emotional person.
Yeah.
Like I wear every emotion I have on my sleeve.
So you're empathic. You feel a lot.
Well, and
Is
it's
that
like
what you're saying?
Yeah, my older
Yeah.
sister and I. So I've got two older sisters. The second in line. She and I are like the same person.
Yeah.
Like the older we get, and this is the thing is, she has been one of the ones I've had the biggest fights with.
Because you guys are a
and we've
mirror.
had the biggest issues with, but we've come back from what I thought were unimaginable. We can never
Right.
have a relationship again moments.
So you're teaching each other.
Yeah.
It
And
sounds
so
like.
I feel like if there's just like, and this is the thing is like, she's my witchy woo woo person.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like I want to talk about numerology. I want
Yes.
to talk about manifestation. I want to talk about this and all that stuff. And she's almost kind of like been this guide for me and it's almost like this validation point. And she's the other empath in the family.
Yeah.
100%.
So that's why you two
100%
have
like,
that relationship.
We will definitely like have conversations and kind of like I can feel not weird to you. I can feel her talking to me through the phone.
Yeah. I'm like, you're speaking my language.
Right?
Yeah.
Like it's like a weird sixth sense of kind of like I can feel it. And
Yes.
like I feel like that's kind of why you and I maybe vibe so much too.
Yeah,
is it's just
100%.
like-
The first time we met, we were vibing.
and so for me, it's kind of like betrayed me super bad.
Yeah, it's not who you are, right? It wasn't.
Well,
it's not your character. It's
there
not
was
who
no
you really are.
There was no filter. Like it was just do, act, think. It
Yes.
wasn't think.
So you had no control
And then it was
over what was happening.
And then it explain.
Yep.
I don't know. Blackout. And then it hurts my marriage. It hurts other relationships. And then this is not like I mean, I've processed a lot of this stuff, but at the same time, it's kind of like,
Does that haunt you? Like, is it like something in the back of your mind that you're just like afraid of happening again?
well, I feel like I still see glimpses of who that guy is in my every single day life.
Right.
The guy that like instantly wants to go to the excuse or wants to like,
Right.
hide something, right? Like addictive behaviors with food and prescription drugs and stuff like that. And the mask of letting everybody know that you're okay when
Right.
maybe that you're not. And because it's like, you know, and then the same thing of kind of like feeling when you're talking to Tyson of kind of like, I saw that little boy and I felt that for like a second. And so it's like, I feel this like level of responsibility with a lot of things. And maybe that's where I want to control the situation because it's like,
Well, because you're afraid of it happening again. So of course you're going to want to try and control it.
or like, I feel like I spent so long with everything completely out of control that the little things, even all the way down to like what gets posted on social media.
Right. Do you understand how that limits you and what you're able to create? Like, can you see that playing out in your life? Control is the biggest blocker that I see with most people I work with. And it's a trap. It is a trap. Because here's the thing. You couldn't control what happened in childhood. Lost control early years. Now you're trying to control. It's the same cycle. It's 100% connected. They're not separate.
So
it's
it was
all
like,
the same pattern playing out in different stages of your life.
so is it more so because I was I've always been such an emotional kid and I don't feel like, oh, there it is. I'm kind of like, I'm feeling like I need to like set the stage of like, I'm not trying to be offensive, mom. Like I'm not trying.
That's people pleasing, right?
But
You're
it's
trying to
kinda like,
control how she feels.
Like looking back now and with kids of my own
Yeah.
and where I've dropped the ball and things like that. And it's just like, And I know it's generational of like, I don't know what my mom's relationships were like, or my dad. And I know what my dad's
Well, what was your
relationship-
mom and dad's relationship, right? Was she able to show her emotion to him? Was he able to show his emotion to her?
Yeah. Well, and I know my dad's story, and I'm not the one to tell, and I can tell you kind of off camera of like where his lack of emotional needs were met as a child and things like that. And so for me, I feel like it was a temporal needs childhood.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I think that some siblings, we've kind of attached ourselves to one or the other, and some relationships are strained and some are great.
Yep.
And some are surface level, because it's like unhealed little emotional boy that didn't get like it was
his needs met.
Yeah. Oh, I feel like it's like I was in honors. I was like literally straight A's.
Oh yeah. You had to be
all the
perfect.
way through, all the way
100%.
all the way through middle school.
Yeah.
And then high school,
Yeah.
I started falling.
Well, do you know why?
No.
Because you wanted to be loved.
I mean,
most high performers I work with, like I'm talking about like athletes, very wealthy people. The reason why they got there is because they wanted to be loved in their childhood and they weren't. So they spend their entire lives earning their love.
Well, it's like I was loved, right? Like,
Right. You
like-
can be loved and your needs not be met in the same
Sure.
sentence, in
'Cause
the
it was
same
like
box.
Graduated literally with like a 2.0 because I begged teachers
Yeah. But what was that going to get you? Like, what were you looking for? Why did you do all that?
just to not be the kid that didn't get my GED out of 7.
You didn't want to cause problems for your family?
Or yeah, I mean, it was
Maybe
just
you
kinda
didn't want to
like,
cause stress on your mom because your dad wasn't there?
everybody knows my freaking family, where we're from. Everybody knows my family, my mom's side and my dad's side.
Yeah.
Like Peterson's, where we're from in the LDS culture in Sacramento,
Yeah.
everybody freaking knows us.
Yeah.
And that's not like a gloating thing. It was just like everyone knew my grandma. Like the girl I started dating in high school.
Okay. So you
Oh
had
my
an
gosh, we love your
identity
grandma,
to
like-
uphold then, it sounds
Yeah,
like.
it was almost kind of like the good name you come from, right? But then there's
Yeah.
also kind of like, I was just like the dismissed, overly emotional little brother a lot. And then
Yeah.
and that carried over into like adulthood. I got dismissed a lot.
This makes sense why you've been such a rebel. Like you're going against it.
I feel like, yeah, that's maybe where it is just kind of like the control of like, I've been dismissed a lot.
Yeah.
And
Well, how does
now
that
it's
make
kinda
you
like,
feel?
This is something that, pissed. I'm like
Yeah.
annoyed.
There's some anger in
And
there.
yeah, 100%. And it's like, and there's times I've worked through some stuff and just kind of like, like, no, F that. Like and it's not like I've been through this, you've never been through, but it's just like, no, I've been through brain melting experiences.
How
Like-
old were you when you first feel like you got dismissed? Can you tap into a younger age? Like if you could just guess an age, how old were you the first time you
like-
were dismissed?
Like early elementary school.
Okay. So like 6, 7.
Yeah. Like just, yeah. I mean, like nothing super traumatic happened to me ever. Like it never really had, but it just was kind of like I know
So
that
you're
I'm
a lot.
I know that I'm a lot.
Logan's
I
a
kn-
lot.
I know when I get going
Yeah.
and I get
He
amped.
apologizes to me all the time about being
And I
a
get-
lot.
Yeah.
And I tell him
Like-
shut
Yeah.
up.
So you're a lot. Yeah.
Like when I get amped and I know something about how I
Right.
feel. I mean, I know all the details,
Right.
but I believe it like at my core or things like that. Like I will just get jazzed on something. And it's not always a positive
Mm-hmm.
jazz. Like you talk about fight or flight. So I get something called amygdala hijack. You probably know all about
Mm-hmm. I know
that.
all about it. Yeah.
And it's kind of like,
Which means you shouldn't be drinking energy drinks.
no, but they chill me out in some respects.
Yeah.
But like, it's like, I'm like, people like, oh, he steamrolled me. I don't say this in a gloating way. Like, I don't think you've ever been steamrolled until you've been steamrolled by somebody who's bipolar
Right.
and gets amygdala hijack, ADHD, can't take the meds or taking way too many of the meds. And it's just kind of like
Yeah.
this God complex of like, you can't stop me
Mm-hmm.
because I can't stop myself. And so it's like, now I feel like there is like, okay, I've got 2 superheroes that I freaking love. Incredible Hulk
Me.
and Wolverine.
Oh, I love Wolverine. Yeah.
1, Wolverine's name is Logan.
Right.
And 2, he is this little, in the comic books, he's a tiny little guy.
Yeah.
Right. But it's like, don't, like, you just like, of all of them, don't mess with that guy. He's got anger issues. He's got all of these things, but then it's like deep down, he is this like emotionally just, he shoves down how much he cares.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so it's like, I just feel like those, like, I know why, but it's like,
Yeah.
I've just always like seen myself. In
You
those.
resonate.
Yeah. And it's like, I don't know. I'm,
I have a lot to work with here. There's a lot to work with.
you probably hate
You've
working with
unloaded.
people like you because I don't shut up.
No. But that's another one of your like ways that you put yourself down and judge yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tyson says this to me all the time. And I had a guy that is like a new relationship of a new friendship in a men's support group that we are a part of. Stopped me after one of the groups and he's like, "Hey, can I tell you something?" And I was like, "Yeah." He goes, "You put yourself down before you talk a lot." And I was like, "Shut up, Dave."
His name's Clark.
Yeah.
So you do remember names. So you do remember names. Yes.
But no, it was like, I know, because Tyson says that to me a
Yeah.
lot too. And it's just like, well, I don't know.
That's a coping mechanism, just so you know. Like a lot of these behaviors that you're talking about are coping mechanisms you learn at a young age. So what I see in front of me is a younger boy, right? 4, 6, 7, something when you were like 12. I don't know what happened there. 16, stuff with your girlfriend, 18. There's all these different parts that I see in front of me. And I think the thing that's like screaming the loudest, I see this like super sweet, cute little boy who's like fun and energized and curious and creative, looking for an outlet with no father to guide him and a mother who's overwhelmed and can't support him emotionally because she can't support herself emotionally because the father's out of the home, right? So you started at a young age suppressing that version of you, right? And you've spent the majority of your life trying to figure out who that is. And it feels like you're still pulling layers back of like, who is this version of me? Like, what do I really love? What do I not love? What is okay for me? And inside of that whole network of who that boy is, you're too much and you're too loud and you're too. So you also shrink yourself in a lot of rooms and shrink yourself probably in your marriage, shrink yourself in friendships, or the opposite will happen. You'll overpower everything to be bigger so that you are seen, heard, and loved. It's going to be one or the other. And that's what you can call bipolar, really. Like you're either shrinking or you're really big.
So how does that work with when my dad was home? Because it was like, it wasn't because he wasn't there. He was traveling. Right. So
yeah, but was he there? Because there's a difference.
There's a lot of positive memories I have.
Right.
Of like when my dad was there, he was present.
Right. But also what you're doing right now is you're invalidating the moments where he wasn't. So that's a pattern of yours. That's a mechanism that you have running constantly.
And I think it's because I also realized that like looking back now and seeing my dad as a 35-year-old man, which I have memories of my dad in those ages of like, because I remember crap from like little.
So you have an impeccable memory. Like you have a very open mind.
Impeccable memory when I want to. And then there's stuff that I'm like, why can't I remember that? Right? Like I remember like vivid memories from like 3 and 4 years old. I'm talking like preschool, like vivid memories. And I remember like the smell of things and things like that. And it's like, but like with my dad, I see now where all the stuff that he went through as a kid and why that would maybe make him disassociate
100%.
as an adult.
Yeah. Which is good to do because I think like this is true and this is how I feel. I give my parents the grace and the compassion and understand that they did do the best that they could with what they had because I've made so many mistakes as a parent and I would hate for my kids to hold a torch to my ass the rest of my life and not forgive me and move forward for things I did that I didn't know I was doing. So I think it's fair from my perspective, when it comes to healing, I don't hold resentment and all this pain towards my parents for not being there for me. But I will say that I do 1,000,000% tell them how I feel, how their decisions affected me, what I went through with being sexually abused and not being protected, how I felt abandoned. I've brought all of that to my parents, all of it, to validate myself, right? It's not about them. It's not about your parents. It's about you. It's about you. It's about us individually and validating how we feel. Because guess what happens if we don't validate how we feel? We seek external validation in really unhealthy ways like addiction and coping and numbing and disassociating. That's the energy leak because we're not getting these parts in our mind validated and seen within ourselves, and then we dump it on the people around us.
This is kind of like a dark thought.
Right.
Is that like I don't like thinking, and I don't say this in like a
You know you don't like thinking.
I don't say I don't like saying this in like there's all these like super toxic douchebags on social media. They're like,
100%.
I walk into the room and everybody knows that I'm the king. Or this freaking Azuli guy is just a total.
Let's not name drop.
Yeah, no, King Azuli is a douchebag.
Let's name drop. No, it's gonna.
No,
I don't even know who that
anyways,
is.
exactly. You know, worth it. But it's just kind of like people know I walk in the room that I'm capable of hurting them or whatever.
That's ego. That's a mask.
And it's like, but it's like old Logan. I hate using that words of like the other guy.
The old me.
Yeah,
I
like
would say the old me.
Yeah, the Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde thing or
Right.
whatever. Like I know like that guy that can that like if I unlock that gate, what could come out, and that terrifies me.
Yeah. And for very good
Like
reason.
that, just like
Right?
see red, vicious, angry, unhappy, miserable, pissed off victim
Right.
of just life.
Right.
And in reality, victim of life, actually insert victim of Logan's decisions. Right. And then there was a level of chemical imbalance that led to a lot of different things. And then I look back and literal blackout periods where I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah. Like
And so it's
psychosis,
kinda
right? Like just.
So I think my fear maybe of control is just kind of like, cause you don't know the dude who I've buried under the jail.
Right.
That's still inside my head.
Right.
Like that dude is beneath the foundation.
Right. So have you actually, like, here's the question. Have you actually gotten to the root of what created that and resolved it? Because if you had, you wouldn't have it in the back of your mind talking to you all the time. And this is where people get like mixed up when it comes to healing. And people say all the time, but I did that work. I already did the work. I already did the work. Well, then why are you so triggered right now? You haven't. And there's a lot that goes to that, right? This is a very complex thing that we're talking about. It's not a very simple task. It takes intention and time and consistency and discipline and being able to go deep. But to answer your question, I love that you're bringing this up because I think this is important. Can we as a society allow people to change? Can we allow people in our minds and perceive them differently as they grow? Because a lot of the times you hear this a lot, like, oh, you're different. I don't know who you are anymore, right? And you hear this from family as you grow, friends, or let's say you made a mistake and your friends are, or wife or mother holding it over your head. Can we like talk about how toxic that is for somebody to make a mistake and for you to rub it in their face consistently and at the same time want them to change and be a different version? Because we are not willing as a human race to accept evolution and healing and change. We hold people to the way we perceive them, which is a judgment of us internally. So we project and we deflect onto other people, which gives no room for this person to be different than the last person. And that's what really needs to happen in relationships. That needs to happen in friendships. It's like, hey, a year ago, you really hurt my feelings when you did this. I'm going to give you the opportunity to show me a different version of yourself. But we don't do that now, right? We just cut people off. You're done. You're out of my life. I'm done with you. There's no compassion. There's no love. There's no understanding. And that's true division, in my opinion. Like I give my partner and my person every day he has an opportunity to show me who he is. Right. Yeah. And if he makes a mistake and messes up, which by the way, men do not want to f up. They do not want to make mistakes ever. So don't rub it in their face when they have, because you're never going to get the version of him that you want. So with my relationship now, he has every day is a new day. And I'm not going to talk about, and he waits for it because of past trauma he's been through. He's waiting for me to be like, hey, remember when you did that 2 weeks ago and blah, 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 blah. So let me withhold sex. Let me withhold love. Let me punish you as a little boy, which is stepping into a mom, not a queen. A lot of women do this. Instead, I'm like, show me who you are today. Yesterday is gone. I'm not saying to like neglect if your partner's cheating on you and doing some serious shit, but we are human and we are here to fuck up. Guess what, guys? I hate to break it to the world, but we're all making this shit up as we go.
Yeah.
All of it.
Well, I like what you're saying. And I think that might be like a positive, like a good like thought to kind of end on, because one thing that keeps coming up in my head was this thing I saw on Instagram that was like, delete that old version of me in your head because it expired.
Yes.
And so
give yourself the opportunity to be a different person. Like do that for you and do that for you.
So much easier said than done.
No, that's a story. And it's,
No, because I don't even know what's wrong with me. Like
Well-
you're saying, well, you have this. I'm like, I don't even remember.
we're going to tap into that.
I'm like, I don't know what
Apparently
I
we're
need to
both
fix because I
making-
don't know what it is.
Apparently,
Well,
we're both
we're going to
making
help you
appointments.
discover what it is because you, yeah, I'm coming for you.
Well, you guys have
I'm
just met
coming
our
for
new
you.
therapist, so. But oh man,
No, because I feel like I've improved so much these past 2 or 3 years.
You
but
can
it's just
you can
like,
improve and still have room to grow. It's not a negative.
It always feels like it's
It's not.
kind of like my finances. It's like it's
Well, it's kinda
always
like-
happening.
That's a whole session.
and I was
bud.
supposed to have a session with you, and then if like I got sick.
Yeah, I
And
know.
you literally your
And
first
I
text.
called you
Your
out.
first text was kind of
Did
like,
I not call
I
you
think
out?
you're making yourself sick because you don't want to have this appointment. I'm like, shut up, Felicia. Like I was literally puking though. So
I
like,
know. I knew you were bullshitting
Last
me,
time
but I
don't
He's
ever eat
pooping in
7-Eleven
Tahoe.
sushi.
but the highest form of love is truth. And
Sure. Oh, I
so
know.
if I care about people that I work with,
Yeah.
I'm going to say what I'm going to say and be like, hey, are you sabotaging
Can
right
I say
now?
one thing? Because I was thinking a lot about what she said about me.
Yeah, just keep it quick.
So
I'm controlling you.
I know I'm wanting to go really slow now. No, you asked me, am I afraid of my strength? And I am.
Okay. I appreciate you sharing that.
Because like even physical, like even I can't ever lose it because I'm a big person.
Yeah.
Like I'm physically big, and like I remember playing football just after I married in an adult league. And they're like, okay, everyone has had to play college or higher. And so there's people who played professional and all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, sweet, I can go all out. First play, I broke a guy's arm and just destroyed him.
Dang,
and I'm
bro.
like, okay, so I can't. And that
So
was
that's
all,
where that started, just so you know, like that's where that belief started was that moment.
And it's also with my kids. Like I know I can't lose it with my wife. I know I can't. I never have.
Right.
But I just know it's just like, I can't.
Yeah.
You're like Lenny from Mice and Men.
And no, it's just like I could destroy you,
Right.
like almost everyone.
Yeah.
Except Bryce Walker.
Do you follow Jordan B. Peterson? Do you listen to his stuff? So one thing that he said that like I'll never forget is a real masculine man is the most dangerous, deadliest person on the planet because he has taken something so deadly and harnessed it. So what you get to learn moving forward is how do I, instead of fear this, how do I actually harness this?
But yeah, that's why I think I let people just kind of, well, a lot of other things, but
Yeah, that's part of the
That's-
passiveness. 100%.
My thought goes to,
I just don't
and
want to hurt you.
my thought goes to like we have we have these 2 stop signs in front of our house and people run them all the time. And I've never been the old guy that is like, you stupid kid. Now I am 100% because I got 2 kids and I will walk out, and I've told you this story, and I will stand in front of their car. I will
Yeah.
physically make them stop.
Right.
And then I will go and emasculate them.
Yeah.
And I probably shouldn't anymore because my wife was like, what if like this is our house and somebody gets a little crazy, and this was kind of like a real reality check
No,
of
but
like,
for real, though.
she was like, if somebody like comes in like, she's legitimately worried about it. Like, what if somebody
what
like
if they're carrying,
crazy
like,
or whatever?
and it's a bad
And
day?
my thought was kind of like, oh, they don't know like what crazy you would even literally look like. I'm like, bring it on a little bit. Then I'm like, okay, maybe Logan should curb it a little bit.
Yeah. Like not my chair, not my problem is
Yeah.
the best practice.
I'm gonna pick up the chair and hit you with it.
Right.
All right.
No, but on that note, right? We went from all positive
you know
to
how many
like.
times I keep just doing this like with my face?
So, anyways, no, this was amazing, Felicia, and I hope you guys stuck around for the whole time because this is like very few and far between that we do like extended long episodes. So this was a fun one. I'm obviously going to make an appointment because I got a heck of a lot more to work through. This one may never air, so just kidding, joking. But
Right, just like we're not sharing.
where can people find you if they're here locally in Utah? Do you do like telehealth stuff? Like, or is it all what if they want to work with you?
So it's a private practice, so I don't accept insurance for right now. I'll work on that. I am in Salt Lake City, but I have an office in Cottonwood Heights, and I live in South Jordan. So you can find me on Instagram or Facebook, Felicia Marie. It's Heal with Felicia Marie. Wait, is it Heal with Felicia or Felicia?
I don't know. It's your handle.
I think it's Heal with Felicia.
We'll
Sorry.
tag you.
HEAL with Felicia on Instagram, and then Facebook, Felicia Marie. Just reach out, send me a DM. I mainly work word of mouth. I don't do any marketing or anything like that. But yeah, just reach out if you have some. I work with men and women. I work with teenagers. I've been doing this a long time. I love what I do. And I'm rooting for you guys. I think you're both really great. And it's been a pleasure getting to know you. Thank you for being vulnerable. Thank you for being open. I really appreciate that. I know it's not easy. It's super hard. So thank you for having me here.
Well, thank you for breaking down a lot of the stuff we didn't realize that I think we did, but we didn't.
And that's not even hypnosis. Like that. This is just,
Yeah.
I can't give it all live on a podcast, honestly, because there's so many things that you might not even remember
There's so
that I
many
pull
things
out.
that are wrong with you.
You have way too much wrong with you.
Yeah.
Way too much wrong.
But thanks so much for tuning in, you guys. We will catch you next week. Check out Felicia and yeah, love you guys.
Toodles.
Bye, Felicia.
Peace out.